doing good? How was dinner?
Great. Everything was great. No, we're doing dinner after.
Oh, you're doing
It's all
dinner.
good. But my whole family's here. Daisy is now saying she doesn't feel like she knows the blessings. So can I come up with her
those.
or
Which blessings?
the candles?
We're just gonna shake your hands. This is great. Or if you is this too close? Do you feel like you're like, whoa, we're too close? Oh, I don't want you to fall. Okay. Yeah, that feels good to me. Since we
How are you?
Good. The worst question you're asking me. Okay, the last hymn, I changed it because I found something that has to do with Noah, but it's not in the CD. Do you want me to like print something?
No. You're all good.
Okay.
yeah, you know, there's a part that you will pick up on it real quick. Yeah. It is the very end.
Too high right now.
There you go. You got it. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so good to be with all of you, and I know the Rycroft family is here. We're so excited to be celebrating with you as Daisy becomes bat mitzvah tomorrow. You are just going to be extraordinary. So actually, why don't you come up here now, because in just a moment we're going to invite you, and your family can come up too, as you're going to light the Shabbat candles. I don't see Michael. Where's Michael? Ah, okay. All right. So Jesse, come on up. And the two of you are going to light the candles in just a moment. I hope that some of you had an opportunity to see the petting zoo that is actually outside right now for Noah's Ark. Some of our youngest members are celebrating in a separate service this evening as well. So you might hear little voices coming through the walls, but that's just the best, yeah. We can do barnyard animals too. So we're going to begin our service on page, oh, hello. Megan, we're going to begin our service on page 10 as we are going to speak to the beauty of this day, the day of Shabbat. It is a day that is filled with hope and a day that is filled with peace. And so we're going to begin by singing Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful is this day, that can be found on page 10. Daisy, if you would lead us in the responsive reading that is at the top of page 3. Let's turn back to page 3 in our Sidurim as we're going to read after Daisy.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. And Daisy, if you would light our Shabbat candles now, and then, yep, you can pick it up. And together, let's sing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And let's read in the English after the blessing.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, Sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. And now we are going to turn in our prayer books to page 20, and there you'll find the prayer Lechad Odi. And this is a prayer that the mystics of Sfat used to chant as they would walk up the snake paths to the beautiful Ha'ari synagogue. And just as they ascended, so too shall we. And as we reach the final verse where it says, Bo'i v'shalom, I'm going to invite the community, the congregation to rise, face the door through which you came, and bow on the final verses of Bo'i kala, Bo'i kala. Let's join together now in the singing of Lechad Odi.
Lechad Odi, Likrat Kala, ending Shabbat, Mekabela. Lechad Odi, Likrat Kala, ending Shabbat, Mekabela. Shemor v'sachor v'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu
Wow, Megan, that is a beautiful version of L'Chadodi. I haven't heard that one before. Hopefully that will become a favorite of all of ours. I love that. We are going to turn now in our Siddur to page 27. Page 27, and you all may be seated at this time, and we're going to read responsively, and then Daisy's going to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. So let's read responsively. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, less routine set my ways. We turn back to page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'amad yivrach yotei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechonu v'yomechon uv'kaedechot Beit Yisrael. Bagala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach. La'olam u'me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yitroman, v'yidnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalel, v'yitalal, shmei d'kudesha b'richu, la'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damin ram be'omah, v'yimeru. Amen.
Yesher koach. As you can see, we only have the best B'nai Mitzvah at our congregation. Daisy, you are amazing, and we cannot wait to celebrate with you tomorrow. We're going to call you back up towards the end of the service to lead us along with Megan in the Kiddush. And so please just join your family and enjoy our service together. We are now going to turn in our Siddur to page 28, and once again, we are going to rise as we turn to the call to worship. That's page 28.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We continue now in the English at the bottom of page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam on page 32.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Akein Adonai Eloheinu בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We continue now with the watchword of our faith, the Shema, on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. We continue now with the Ve'ahavta on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue now reading responsively at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. We continue now with Michamocha on page 40. And thank you, John, so much for accompanying on guitar. You add so much to the service. It's wonderful.
Adonai,
V'ne'amar kif Adonai Yaakov v'gualo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We turn now to page 43, and we read from the top of the page, Hashkivenu, a prayer for the sheltering presence of the divine. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let's read together. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue now on page 44 as we turn to the words of Vishamru, but before there's actually a particularly beautiful reading that I love at the bottom of page 45, so maybe we could read that together first. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. Let's turn back to page 44 and join in together as we sing Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledor tambari dolam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledor tambari dolam B'nei Uvin b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam, oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledor tambari dolam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledor tambari dolam Uvayom hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledor tambari dolam.
We rise now as we turn to page 46 for the tefillah, a standing prayer within our tradition. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits and God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will.
Adonai tzifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei HaKol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi geula livnei v'neihem leman shemo be'ahava. Melech ozeh u'mashiach u'magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibur le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol Torah lehoshia, Mashiv haruach mumorid hageshem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayim emunato lishenei afar michamoka ba'al gevurot umido melech memit umekaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdeshim b'chol yom yehalelu hasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. Let's read together the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue now at the top of page 57. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amacha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ava tekabel, u'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. And we continue now with the Hoda'ah prayer, a prayer of thanksgiving that reminds us to be grateful for the blessings that come our way. And so let's read together at the bottom of page 59. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. We continue also now with the prayer for peace, which can be found on page 60, a prayer that reminds us that we should be seekers of peace and wholeness in the world, and that it is something that we cannot take for granted. Let us turn now as we sing together on page 60.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lacho HaShalom. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit uv'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Alcha. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
It's right that we should turn from a prayer for peace, a prayer for shalom, to a prayer for shalem, a prayer for wholeness for those who might be in need of either refuah nefesh or refuah guf, a healing of spirit or a healing of body. And particularly in our hearts and minds, we're thinking of these dear members of our community. We think of Leah Rina bat Davida Ilana, Pesha Bluma bat Esther, Mark Ackerman, Mark Kleinerman, Yisrael Mordechai, Rachel Zeram, Raphael ben Avraham Visara, Andy Willinson, Laura Green. If there are names that should be added to this list or names that should be pronounced differently than I did, I invite you to hold those names in your hearts. You'll notice also that our Mishaberach list is shorter as we've begun the new year. We start fresh with the Mishaberach list. If you have a name to add, we invite you to contact the office to do so. And so we turn to these words of Mishaberach as we say together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you, the source of healing, page 253 for the Mishaberach prayer.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
There's something beautiful about hearing the voices of children, laughing especially. I've shared this story a number of times before, but when I used to study in Jerusalem at the height of the Intifada, when things were it felt like it was at its worst. My classroom where I was studying, Kita Aleph in rabbinical school, was right across the courtyard from what was the Gan, the kindergarten. And hearing the voices of children laughing and learning and speaking Hebrew better than we were truly was inspiring and wonderful. So if we do hear the little voices coming through the doors, just think about how beautiful that is and let it be sustaining. Let's take some not so silent time now for reflection on whatever are the tefillat halev, whatever the prayers of our hearts might prompt. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So I've always loved baseball, particularly the Toronto Blue Jays. And when I was young, I heard a hiss, wow. Some Yankee fans in the house. So when I was young, Dodger fans, all right. When I was young, we'd always split seasons tickets with family and friends. And I still have vivid memories of a childhood spent attending ball games at Exhibition Stadium where the Toronto Blue Jays played in their early years. I remember cracking open peanuts and learning new and sometimes colorful cheers to taunt the opposing pitcher. Year after year, this was a favorite and treasured outing for my family. And I can rattle off the names of my heroes, the starting lineup, almost every year the Blue Jays played. I watched year after year as the Jays clawed their way up the American League, developing new stars and trading for fresh new faces like Roberta Alomar and John Olerud and Jolton Joe Carter. I know that so many of you in Milwaukee who follow my now adopted National League favorites, the Brewers, share in this feeling of watching a team that struggles and achieves season after season only to finally find the magic needed to go all the way. And after all, we share some of our favorite players like Paul Molitor, and who is as much a hero in Toronto, maybe not as much as he is in Milwaukee. So you can imagine the excitement that was felt when the Jays won the World Series in 1992, the first World Series to cross a geopolitical border, the first World Series to be won by Canada, marking the most important Canadian baseball moment since Babe Ruth hit his first professional home run in Toronto in 1914. But it was in 1993, when I was 15 years old, that we really achieved an incredible high. After all, winning one World Series is extremely hard, but winning two in a row would be almost unthinkable. Nevertheless, the Jays had built a club that would rival an all-star team. And in October of that year, they squared off against the National League champions, the Philadelphia Phillies. The most memorable moment of that series came in Game 6 in Toronto. It was the bottom of the ninth inning with the Jays down 1 run. 2 men were on base, Ricky Henderson and Paul Molitor. But then Joe Carter came up. He looked awkward and stiff, but with the count being 2-2, he drove a long fly ball to left field that carried until it cleared the fence. It was a 3-run home run that won the game and the World Series. Carter joined Bill Mazeroski as one of the only 2 players to win a World Series with a home run in the bottom of the 9th inning of the deciding game. Imagine the pandemonium as Joe rounded the bases, skipping and leaping all the way, but careful to touch each and every base. The players emptying the dugouts to embrace him, tears streaming down the faces of lifelong Toronto Blue Jays fans just like me. This is torturing the Dodgers fans. The streets of Toronto flooded with joyful, exuberant people. In those moments following the home run in the bars and streets of Toronto, I imagine conservatives and liberals were slapping each other 5. I imagine that French Canadians and Anglo-Canadians shook hands at this incredible Canadian victory. I imagine that Jews and every other race were just embracing each other. Every other people were embracing other people, sharing joy. I imagine that cats and dogs, yes, cats and dogs, put their historic animosity aside to revel for a moment and just enjoy the night-long party that ensued. And the reason I say imagined is because my mother and father had decided that this historic weekend would be a good time to send me on my first Nifty event. And you might ask, where was this first Jewish youth group event that I attended? And the answer is Canton, Ohio. When Jolton Joe Carter hit the home run that won the World Series, I was standing in a Havdalah circle with only a good friend to my left who had smuggled a radio in with a single earbud taped to the inside of his sleeve and extending into his ear. And I heard that we had won the World Series in a hushed whisper so as not to upset the leaders of the event. Never had the streets of Canton, Ohio seemed so desolate and quiet. Now, I wish I could tell you that in that moment I had felt that it was okay, that I was at peace with missing a pivotal moment in Toronto Blue Jays history, but obviously the memory has stuck with me for 32 years. We Jews have a love affair with baseball. It's true. Baseball became synonymous with American identity. Playing baseball showed our neighbors that in some way we were just like them. It was an important, accessible element for our immigrant grandparents and great-grandparents, establishing roots in a place because the heroes of the majority culture could be our heroes too. Baseball even inspired some of the great artists. Some of the great Jewish authors of our time have written beautiful stories of baseball, ranging from Malamud's The Natural to Philip Roth's great American novel. We have our great players too, Hank Greenberg, Buddy Meyer, and of course, Sandy Koufax. Now, we all know Sandy Koufax's story. He was one of the great pitchers of his time, and in 1965, when the Los Angeles Dodgers made it to the World Series, the Charlie Dodgers, right? For the first World Series, and the first game fell on Yom Kippur. Well, it was the New York Dodgers then. Koufax decided not to play, and he went to synagogue instead. And by refusing to pitch that day, Koufax became inextricably linked with the American Jewish experience. Author Jane Levy wrote in Sandy Koufax, A Lefty's Legacy, he was the new patriarch, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Sandy. Koufax inspired a generation of Jews. His name became synonymous with a choice made by so many who have all the pushes and pulls of a modern society, but still choose their tradition and heritage over what might appear to be comfortable. After all, it was the World Series, and Koufax chose shul. In the Jewish world, the pride evoked by that decision shaped the way we think about our priorities. His choice reminds us that faith is about knowing what truly matters, what's worth carrying with us when life tests our priorities. And that's really the question also at the heart of this week's Torah portion, Parshat Noach, a story about what we choose to carry with us when the flood waters rise. Noach builds an ark, not just of wood and pitch, but of purpose. He gathered the pieces of life that are worth preserving so that the world can begin again. And that's what Sandy Koufax did in his own quiet way on Yom Kippur of 1965, when he chose the synagogue over the pitcher's mound. He reminded us that some moments matter more than the spotlight. He chose to carry faith and memory and identity onto his ark, not because it was easy, but because it was right. And that, I think, is what Daisy is going to do this Shabbat. Tomorrow, when she stands on this bima and reads from the Torah for the very first time, she'll be doing exactly what our people have done for generations, lifting something ancient and making it new, building an ark of her own out of learning and family and community to carry what is sacred into the next season of Jewish life. It's easy to measure our lives in wins and losses, in standings and scores. But Parshat Noach reminds us that the real victory is endurance, finding ways to keep goodness afloat when the world feels like it's flooding. And Judaism at its heart is a team sport. We build, we rebuild, we lift one another when the rains come, and we rejoice when the sun breaks through. So yes, the Blue Jays are back in the World Series. They're playing tonight as we stand here. And yes, the Brewers' season's ended too soon. And yes, good luck to the Dodgers. You're going to need it. But tonight, here, under the shelter of this sacred ark, we're part of a different kind of team, one that measures success differently, not in championships, but in covenant, and not in home runs, but in the homes that we build together. Daisy, tomorrow you're stepping up to the plate. All of us will be cheering you on, not from a single swing, but from the beautiful way that you'll bring Torah to life. May you all, I promise you I won't talk about baseball tomorrow, Daisy. May you always know that your teammates, your family, your congregation, your people are all right here with you. And may your faith be steady through every storm. And as you round the bases of your life, may you always, always slide safely into home. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. we are now going to turn to the Aleinu, which can be found in your Siddur on page 282. I'd love to invite any young person here that has not become bar or bat mitzvah yet, or b mitzvah. You can come up, so that means if you're younger than 12 or 13, come on up and why don't you open up our ark doors for us. So come on up and please come forward and you can open up our ark doors, and I promise you that I'll make it worth your while. I'll have a special treat for you. So come on up.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goy haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'enachnu korim, ומשתקבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני Ushamo, Ushamo, Ushamo echad.
You may be seated. Just as we look to the future, as we celebrate moments in life, as we transition to adulthood, so too do we think of the past and all of the steps that have taken us to get to where we are and the people that have guided us along the ways. So we take a moment of reflection as we think of dear ones who've passed into life eternal. Particularly in our hearts and minds, we are commemorating the period right towards the beginning of Shiva for Stephen M. Pash. And we think of you, Carol. In addition to the name of Stephen, so too do we think of those for whom we are commemorating the period of Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period. We think of Charlotte Atinsky, Barbara Eisen, Grant Fries, Ruth Goodman, Phil Gruber, Jacqueline Katz, and Jack Forbes Wilson. In addition to those names, so too do we think of those who've passed into life eternal in years gone by for whom we mark their yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing. We remember Fred Alderman, Dalvin Bayless, Francis Feingold Biller, Barbara Francis Cohen, Ida Cohen, Joseph Cohen, Stephen Eichenbaum, Dr. Stuart Fine, Evelyn Franklin, Robert Gill, Stanley Gimbel, Martin Goldberg, Sonia Gollopel, Joan Greenberg, Fanny Himmelreich, Rosalind Korzinski, Erwin Leon, Leon Leopold, Richard Lieberman, Cecile Lozoff, Peter Margolis, Louis Meldman, Marvin Miller, Arlene Minkoff, Joan Meckler, Edward Neubauer, Jacob Ozanoff, Deborah Rice, Beatrice Ritz, May Rosenberg, Neil Rubnitz, Jerome Sadowski, Samuel Monroe Safer, Melvin Schnoll, Jennifer Shovers, Florence Hughes Silver, Alice Starobin, Miriam Stein, Esther Tepper, Margaret Topol, Robert Watchmaker, Bernard Wessler, and Rose Williams. If there are names that should be added to this list or names that should be pronounced differently than I did, or if you're commemorating the yahrzeit of a loved one, please do call those names as I look in your direction. In addition to the names of our loved ones, so too do we think of all of those who died due to war and or terrorism, all those who died in defense of this nation and allied nations' ideals. We think of all those who've died due to the terrible viruses of racism and xenophobia, as well as all those who perished during the Holocaust. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope. The Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, can be found on page 294. We rise together as one community as we recite these sacred words together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Ulamei Almaya. Yit Barach V'ishtabach V'itpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu. Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata. Tushbechata V'nechemata. Da'amiran B'alma V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say Amen. You may be seated. Steve, can I put you on the spot and have you do announcements tonight? For old time's sake, I'll give you you can have a lollipop too. But Steve is our congregational immediate past president, and it is always good to share the bema with you, Steve.
Thank you.
They're written out for you.
Perfect.
Rycroft.
Excellent. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Mazel tov to the Rycroft family as they celebrate Daisy becoming a bat mitzvah. We're so happy for you. Now, the Violins of Hope Learning Series with Milwaukee's Reform and Conservative rabbis will begin next week. We saw one of them at our Kol Nidre service, one of the Violins of Hope. So please join us for these remaining sessions. October 28th at 7 p.m. at Congregation Emmanuel B'nai Jeshurun, Music as Resistance, Faith, Art, and Defiance in the Holocaust. Then on November 6th at 7 p.m. at Congregation Beth Israel Ner Tamid, Restoring What Was Broken, Healing Through Music and Memory. And then finally, at November 11th, 7 o'clock, here at Congregation Shalom, L'Dor V'Dor, Passing the Song to the Next Generation. Then on October 26th at 10 a.m., Voices for Justice will present Building Community in Challenging Times, Working for Justice, Inspiring Hope, and Forging Alliances of Faith across Milwaukee. The speakers on that panel will include Roberta S. Clark, the Executive Director of the JCRC, Hannah Freeman, the lead organizer and executive director of MICA, Kai Yael Gardner-Mishlove, the director of advocacy and alliances of the JCRC, and our own Rabbi Abby Phelps, who will moderate the program. Women of Shalom is hosting a night of Mahjong Madness on October 28th at 6:30. Sign up your group, bring your own Mahjong set for a night of fun. They're also selling the 2026 Mahjong card. Embrace the joyful spirit of Jewish renewal on October 31st at 6 p.m. for our renewal Shabbat service led by Cantor Mimi Rosansky and Rabbi Abby and the talented musicians from our community here at Shalom. November 7th is the Sanford J. Ettinger Memorial Lecture. Our guest speaker is some guy. He will be speaking on creating value in unexpected places, exploring Jewish values in a world of chocolate, and business in sharing the unlikely story of Ghana's first gourmet chocolate bar. Service starts at 6 p.m., followed by what promises to be a wonderful oneg. Thank you, Susie Ettinger. Congregation Shalom is excited to announce our partnership with the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at UW Milwaukee. We will be offering high-quality adult educational experiences for our members. Join us for our first such class on November 12th at 10 a.m. for Come From Away, a 9/11 story. Please check your email on how to register, and Shalom members attend for free. Every Friday from 11 to 12, join us for coffee or tea at Shalom Schmooze. It's a casual setting to simply be together, sharing conversation and building community. Join us on Saturdays, as always, at 9 a.m. for Torah study, then at 10 a.m. for our community Shabbat service, and then we enjoy a community lunch together following the service. Look for further information on all our programs in PVAR Foyer, Watch Your Shofar, emails, Facebook, and the webpage for all of Shalom's happenings. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. And for those of you who are visiting with us on this Shabbat, Steve Wallace is our lecturer for the Ettinger lecture, and he's he's the Willy Wonka of Milwaukee. We're excited to have Steve being our lecturer. We're going to turn now to our closing hymn for this Shabbat, which is going to be a very special one for Noah's Ark. Megan, will you explain a little bit about this piece that you're going to be singing?
Yes, the title is Yom Shabbaton, and the reason that I picked it is because it's about Shabbat, but in the refrain that you will hear very soon, it also talks about how the dove found a place to rest. And it was only when the flood had receded enough that dry land was visible that made it possible for that dove to have a place to rest. So that's why I chose it for this evening, because of the Noach Parsha this week.
Beautiful. I can't wait to hear it.
Yes. I will also need your help. I know you don't have the words. It's not in the Siddur. I apologize, but there is a few parts that go, ay, ay, ay. So I really hope you will join me on the ay, ay, ay's. Okay, here, and I transcribed it myself, so, okay. Hold on, sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm going to begin with the refrain so you can hear it before I start the verses and give you a chance to understand where the ay, ay, ay's come in, because they're very important. So let's start with the refrain. Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechecho achai ay 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 Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechecho ach Yom Shabbaton ein nishkoach zichro kreach hanichoach Yona matzavo manoach yanuku igeyachoach Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechoach ay 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 Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechoach Hayom nikbal livnei emunim zehirim lashomro avadu vanim chachuk bishnei luchot avanim umrovomim ve'amis koach Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechoach ay 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 Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechoach Uva'u kulam bivrit yachad na'aseh v'nishma amru ka'echad fatchu vanu Adonai yachad Baruch hanoten le'yayev koach Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechoach ay 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 Yona matzava manoach ay 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 v'sham yanuchu yechoach.
Beautiful. And Daisy, now if you'd come up, our cup is certainly overflowing because you're here to help lead us in the Kiddush, and I'll invite everyone now to rise. And Jesse, come on up too. We're going to turn back in our Siddur to page number 5. That's page number 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav baratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hichilanu זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תהילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכהנים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
L'chaim. Take it just a little bit.
You can have a little sip. She's like, am I allowed?
Is it a good year? No, it's good. No. We now turn to our closing hymn for Shabbat, which comes when you turn to someone next to you. You wish them Shabbat Shalom. It's a blessing that can come with a hug or a kiss or a handshake. You know it's appropriate because you know who you came with. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm so excited for tomorrow. You're going to be amazing. Good job. You're great. Here, wait.